South African truck drivers heeded a nationwide call today to stop trucks from operating in protest against the employment of foreign drivers. The truck drivers blockaded the M2 freeway at the Joe Slovo Drive off ramp in Johannesburg. In both directions, the Metro Police were dispatched to that scene to control the situation. They're calling on government to compel truck owners to employ more South Africans, as they claim foreign nationals make up 90% of the workforce. So it seems the truck companies from neighbouring countries have put the brakes on their operations as a precautionary measure. So earlier on, the Labour Minister Thulas Nxesi had a conversation with one of my colleagues about a meeting earlier today with those protesting truck drivers. Let's take a listen to this first.
The law enforcement are looking into this matter, and they've been able to deploy into all the provinces in order to make sure that they are able to deal with those perpetrators of violence. And also there were reps of the Ministry of Police in the meeting which we had today.
So, of course, you've engaged with stakeholders in the sector today. What were the outcomes of that meeting?
The outcomes of the meeting today was that all parties were there. I'm talking about the ATDF, the NDF, the SACATRA, SATAU and MTU. These are all the unions and the employer organizations which were there. Was everybody, it was agreed to condemn, a total condemnation of the violence by all the stakeholders. And also we agreed that the task teams to continuously meet under the leadership of the Ministry of Employment and Labour, because there were task teams which were set under the ministry and the bargaining council who are dealing with all the issues raised.
All right, so one of those in attendance at that meeting with the Labour Minister, Thulas Nxesi, the Secretary General of the All Truck Drivers Foundation, Sifiso Nyathi. He joins me now on the line to talk about the protest action as well as that meeting with the Labour Minister. Very good evening to you, Mr. Nyathi. Thanks indeed for your time. So this is not the first time that these protests have taken place. Remind us again, what is at the core of your unhappiness as truck drivers in South Africa?
Good evening. I'll come on our question. The same thing we talk about 3 years back, 2 years back. In South Africa, we have a problem for employers. Truck owners is not employing citizens of this country. We raised this thing several times to the Department of Labour, Home Affairs, bargaining councillor to transport, even to the ministers. We raised this issue several times, many times, 3 years back. The same issue now, no implementation, no change. South Africa drivers are not employed. They have a same grievance. So here in South Africa, truck owners, they employ to their companies 90 to 100% in our country. They break in section 38, section 38 of 2014 of immigration. You bring somebody from other countries on the scale, trucking and the security, all other sectors. Let's come to the truck industry. There is no scale. Their employers, the employers of this country, they break law. That's section 38. So the people of this country, they are not employed. If you go to look for the job, they say leave the CV. Sometimes some others, they tell you, we can't take citizens of this country, we can't take South African. We employ foreign nationals. What is this? What do you call this thing? Yeah. That thing, we see the 3 years back. If there's no change, even 5 years we'll see the same issues. Drivers, they decided themselves to go for strike. As we are organization, as we are leaders of ATDF, they never take it out of it for us.
Yes.
They decide themselves, because 3 years, no implementation, no change.
Yeah. So, Mr. Nyathi, I understand that there was an interdict that was granted against the strike action today. Why was it allowed to go ahead?
You see, bargaining councillor, we can't understand, is shocked. Bargaining councillor, what is their stand? Bargaining councillor is a structure between employee for compliance. Bargaining councillor, see, he saw other dating house. Although bargaining councillor, he's sitting there, he's not exercising their job for compliance. Many companies in South Africa, they are not compliant. They're not registered. He's doing nothing. So bargaining councillor decided to go to court. We don't know what bargaining is for. What is trading for? It's taking the side for employers. So to go to court to protect employers. What is for bargaining? What is trading for? We can't understand bargaining council was doing that. Drivers themselves, they decided to go for strike because of this pain. We can go to court, we can go however. If drivers of this country still are not employed, are sitting at home with that driver's license, what for an international they come with a fake driver's license, metal license, others they take tricks cards. They limit their details. They limit their details. They say they are drivers. They
yes,
get a job.
Mr. Nyathi, I'm just trying to get in as much as possible. So you met with the Department of Labour today. Are you satisfied with the outcome of that meeting? Are you confident that something will come out of this particular meeting? Because you say this has been dragging on for a very long time. Very quickly, please.
I don't know. Really, I don't know. What the outcome is the outcome that happened in 3 years back, 4 years back. Where the minister talk about the tax team. That tax team is established. I don't know if it's a new one or the other one is the fourth tax team. 2008 we had 2 tax teams. Not change. Last year, Mr. Nxesi and Balula and the Home Affairs Minister, they established that tax team is there in Durban, who's leading by one of the organization Employer Positive Faith in Durban. The government is going to Durban to see the employers for Durban. Positive Faith who established to oppose ATDF. Government must call all employers in the country, all Nxesi, RFA, all serious in reason for that solution.
So, Mr. Nyathi, what are you saying? What are you saying then about this illegal protest also? Given that it was not supposed to go ahead, it turned violent. Some foreign truck drivers have in the past been torched, and today some trucks that were still on the road were targeted. Do you take responsibility for that?
We don't support that. This is a criminal thing. We don't want violence. Although drivers, they have that thing. They must, if it's drivers they do, they mustn't do that. All or not want that violence. We condemn that thing. So why you can take the responsibility? We never employ foreigners. What? My question, here in South Africa, no one point a finger to the employers. We never employ foreigners. We never create this problem. But no one point a finger. If these employers of South Africa, they continue this arrogance, still do. Today, even tomorrow, last month, next month, they will employ foreigners. They provoke citizens of this country. We never employed these people. They never employed themselves. Why they never, government, everybody never point a finger to the employers who create this thing. But when there's a strike, people say, hey, there's a strike. But who created this strike? Sure. These employers. Why we should take responsibility?
Mr. Nyathi, thank you very much. I'm afraid that's all we have time for this evening. Thanks indeed, Sifiso Nyathi, who is with one of the organizations that had that meeting with the Labour Minister, Thulas earlier on today.